What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and to all the latest wrestling news, keeping you up to date on all the recent news, rumors and reports. Coming up, we're talking everything that went down on NXT TakeOver in your house, a pay-per-view. Triple H making a very smart decision as Samoa Joe is said to be returning to WWE. The latest news on who exactly is a #1 priority for WWE's right now. Update on that potential Roman Reigns versus The Rock matchup, and much more. So make sure to hit those notifications to never miss the updates, and maybe check out the second channel for even more wrestling content. And let's start off with some massive news coming out of this past weekend NXT TakeOver. Although it hasn't been confirmed by the WWE, multiple sources have confirmed that Samoa Joe is returning to the company. But he is not going to be returning to Raw or SmackDown, he's going to be returning to NXT, and this has a lot to do with Triple H. Heel by nature indicates that Triple H push for Samoa Joe's WWE return, with some very interesting plans for him within the NXT brand in a non-wrestling role for the time being, especially after what we got to see at the end of NXT TakeOver in your house, with William Regal indicating that there's some changes that need to be made and that he has been general manager of NXT for a bit too long. Samoa Joe may return in a commissioner style role, which could see him replacing William Regal. William Regal is set to make an announcement on Tuesday edition of this week's NXT television, so it should be interesting to see what happened. Mike Johnson of PW Insider provided some extra details on the deal, indicating that Triple H snatched Samoa Joe right after WWE released him because Triple H simply doesn't want Samoa Joe to go work elsewhere. He wants a talented superstar like Samoa Joe on his brand. He wants to remain within WWE. Triple H was said to be unhappy as soon as Samoa Joe was released, so he started to work on bringing him back right away. Reports also ended up indicating that Samoa Joe's role might start him out either in the announce table or again as a general manager, but that ultimately an in-ring return for him is possible. It seems like they have a plan to ultimately build towards that whenever it's possible. Before Samoa Joe was released, he was working on the commentary team for Monday Night Raw, and there was no confirmation on whether or not he was cleared to compete as of that time. So there's a lot of possibility of what they could be doing with Samoa Joe on NXT, and I'm just happy that he is back with the WWE. He is a talented superstar literally all around, and this is easily Triple H's best decision this year. And not really a surprise here, but we got more details in regards to Roman Reigns and what is the plan in the upcoming months. Reports from the Wrestling Observer Radio indicate that the ultimate goal for Roman Reigns is for him to ultimately be the top babyface once again. Right now, he's still the top superstar in the company, but he is a heel. WWE knows that having Roman Reigns as an actual babyface will ultimately lead to more money due to merchandise sales just spiking up right away and so on, even though Roman Reigns is probably the top seller right now anyways. It was explained that they're basically trying to book him as a Brock Lesnar, but Brock is the heel and then Roman is the babyface. Again, this is not really a surprise. We don't even know when Roman Reigns is gonna turn babyface, probably leading into next year's WrestleMania, but for the meantime, there's still a lot of plans that WWE have laid out for him and the Usos, as they are set to become the top stable and also hold all the titles sooner or later, and SummerSlam is supposed to be a massive night for them. WrestlingNews.co also indicated that Vince McMahon doesn't want to portray Roman Reigns as a cowardly heel who get his ass kicked 50% of the time. He wants Roman to be the guy who will carry the company for the next few years, and Vince McMahon sees him as his top priority right now. Protect Roman Reigns at all costs seems to be part of that priority, and considering that Roman is the best thing on the main roster right now, this is definitely what they should be doing. Sticking with Roman, it was previously reported that WWE is trying to get The Rock to come back for Survivor Series The event could be a possibility for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but it's not known what he would do at the show. The Wrestling Observer Radio ended up adding that The Rock's desire to face Roman Reigns and how soon WWE will likely be able to work that out, it's what's in question right now. They indicated that every year it gets tougher and tougher because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gets a year older, and most of the speculation is that it will happen within the next 2 WrestleManias. And if they could pull it off, WWE is pushing for it to happen on that next WrestleMania. It was noted that WrestleMania in Dallas might be enough to bring The Rock back, but of course he will have to work it into his crazy schedule. With then potentially bringing him back for Survivor Series, it makes sense for them to tease something there just to set it up for a future matchup. Switching it to some recap, we got NXT TakeOver in your house last night with some pretty good action. It wasn't the best at TakeOver, but it was a heck of a main event and a solid show all around. We started off with the NXT North American Champion Bronson Reed and NXT Tag Team Champions MSK defeating Legado del Fantasma and their winners at TakeOver 6-man tag team matchup. This was followed up with Lee defeating Mercedes Martinez in one-on-one competition. In the end though, Mercedes was not the one last standing as she ended up getting put through the pixel glass. We had LA Knight defeating Cameron Grimes in one-on-one competition to win the $1 Million Championship. Pretty good ladder match. I was kind of expecting Cameron Grimes to pick up a victory on this one as he is clearly going to the moon, but I guess it wasn't the time just yet. I really do like the resurgence of the $1 Million Championship. It's always fun to see them bring that title back, even if it's just for a brief run. Don't necessarily think that NXT needs more championship, but for the purpose of the storyline, it's just so well. With of course Ted DiBiase setting it up and just hanging around on every single segment. We had the NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez defeating Ember Moon in one-on-one competition. In this we ended up having Shotzi Blackheart and Dakota Kai by ringside kind of fighting it out, taking their fight to the backstage. And then for the main event, which was an insane main event, an awesome fatal 4-way match, we had the NXT Champion Karen Cross just looking like an absolute monster, defeating Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, and Pete Dunne. And I just want to say that it really looked like Johnny Gargano was the ringleader in this match. Johnny Gargano was literally 99% of the time in the ring for this fight. I don't want to say that he carried this match, but he was definitely in the biggest spotlight. Onto the end though, of course, we had Kyle O'Reilly getting so close to winning it, we could literally taste it, almost submitting Adam Cole, but from behind here comes Karen Cross, catching Kyle O'Reilly, who was already applying a submission, and just putting him to sleep to retain the title. After the main event, they switched it over to the backstage, and as William Regal was walking out, he indicates that after seeing that main event, he has never seen nothing like what he just saw in the last 7 years of him being general manager, and that it looks like it is time for a change. And it looks like he was tearing up, so now he is set to make a massive announcement this Tuesday. William Regal is not going anywhere. He's still going to be part of NXT according to Triple H. He's still going to be part of the WWE family. He's still going to be doing his producing and stuff in the backstage. He was not just doing general manager, so not because he's stepping down from that position means that he won't be there. Nonetheless, and now there's a lot of speculation indicating that it looks like Samoa Joe might be the next guy to be the general manager since they're bringing him back. But we will see if that is the case. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below of what you thought of NXT TakeOver. And of course, if you guys enjoy or found this coverage of wrestling news informative, make sure to subscribe and hit those notifications. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.